There has never been a superstar in the NBA like Kawhi Leonard, and there probably will never be one again.
When he first came in the league, he couldn't shoot, and he took the time, was very patient, developed his game, flushed it all out, and now here he is today.
His path to NBA championships has been as legendary as his personality is confusing. On one hand, he's like a robot.
And so I kind of like all good, tapped him on the stomach. And I remember thinking to myself, is he made of steel? Like, what did I just touch?
On the other hand, he's the fun guy.
Which Clipper teammate is surprisingly funny? Who would you say has the most jokes on the team?
The most surprisingly funny, I would say, is Kawhi.
Easily.
That's the easy one.
Yet, in between all this, he still gets a lot of hate.
He does absolutely, positively nothing to support or endorse the NBA brand, the Clippers, etc. So I'm going to say it for the last time. He is a superstar when he is healthy. On the basketball court, easily, as far as I'm concerned, top 5 player on the planet. That's why superstar is appropriate when it comes to talking about his skill set. I can make a legitimate argument that Kawhi Leonard is the worst superstar in the history of any sport.
But how do NBA players really feel about Kawhi Leonard? Kawhi Leonard is an unusual superstar. He rarely talks and he hardly shows any emotion, no matter the situation. Like this monster dunk on Giannis Antetokounmpo. And that's why it's surprising how Ant-Man got him laughing here. It might be that Ant-Man somehow has the password for Kawhi's laugh interface. Anyway, Ant-Man's idol, Kevin Durant, has been in the league for 17 seasons and has had so many battles with the Klaw. KD's faced the best defenders in the league, but he admits that playing against the Klaw is nerve-wracking.
But it's also fun, getting a chance to compete against him. Well, not fun, but it's a challenge. I mean, you see how he plays? He's tough. He's tough. You got to be ready every possession, so it's nerve-wracking.
But even at that, KD believes that the league needs Kawhi Leonard for the competition and toughness he brings with just his presence.
The league is better, though, when Kawhi Leonard's playing.
And it really is. With players like the Klaw who just love the game and work hard to be better, the league can remain as competitive as possible. But KD is not the only legend that recognizes why it's great to have players like Kawhi in the league. LeBron James also feels the same way. His battles with Kawhi in the 2013 and 2014 finals gave him a front row seat to Leonard's rise. And since then, LeBron has had the utmost respect for the Klaw's greatness.
Listen, for me, it's always great to go against the best. I know I don't have that many opportunities to continue to go against the best.
At one point, it seemed like Kawhi might retire before LeBron did due to his endless injuries. But today, we still have both of these superstars playing. James Harden is one of the most prolific scorers who boasts a 2018 MVP. Harden has faced Kawhi's suffocating defense firsthand, so his perspective is rooted in respect for a player who can disrupt even his offensive mastery. But during a recent interview, Harden talked about Kawhi's realness.
It's real. Like it's just real. Like we don't just sugarcoat nothing. And on the court, you see something, say it to me, or I see something, I tell it to him, and we move on. And we're professionals. We're grown. We've over this. While I've been here, this is my second year for the most part, and we've built a really good relationship. Like we hang out off the court, so we know each other. So our communication is just fluent. We say how we feel and we move on.
But besides his realness, Harden also spoke about Kawhi's work ethic.
It's the preparation. It's like the treatment. It's the strengthening. Of his body. It's the correctives, and then it's the going on court and putting it all together. And it's consistently every single day. And luck hasn't been on his side, or whatever case you might call it, but he loves the hoop. And as you see, when he's on the court, he's a killer.
Another teammate of Kawhi that often talks about him is Paul George. Both superstars have a solid relationship on and off the court, and sometimes they might do this to an interviewer.
You guys are on the same team. Take me through how this happened. How did we get here? for the conversation.
You seen it, I signed and he got traded.
Having shared the court with Leonard, PG has seen Kawhi's work ethic and game up close. George's take on Kawhi highlights what makes him a leader and a nightmare matchup for opponents.
Everything is a routine with Kawhi. Like when they talk about Kobe and you hear stories about how MJ operated, it falls right in line with how Kawhi operates. Like he'll go through a move and he'll make this basket 10 times. And then it's a progression from there. It's a counter from there. And then he'll go through that 10 times. And then it's a counter from there. And he'll go through that. Like he'll go through about 5 or 6 counters just off of one move before he goes to another spot. Watch him match up against other people. It's just an ultimate respect when it comes to Kawhi. Like they know what he's about. They know, that it's going to be a rough night. Like nobody, the guys that talk the most trash don't say to Kawhi.
But even in all that work ethic, the fun guy in Kawhi still shows up from time to time. PG talked about one particular incident during practice. The team had a rule that if anyone airballs, everyone has to wait for that player while he runs a lap or two, then they continue practice. It got to Kawhi's turn to shoot, and he airballs it.
Everybody's looking around like, who's going to tell him, we'll wait. So now, like, I'm looking at B. Shaw. B. Shaw don't say nothing. So then finally, B. Shaw's like,
nah, everybody's on B. Shaw's ass low key. Like, yo, B.
We
Shaw.
on B. Shaw ass. Like, B, you ain't gonna say nothing? So finally, like, why? Like, I'm not running.
Why you sound just like straight like that?
Straight up.
Straight like that.
I'm not running. And B. Shaw, like, nobody's above the law. Like, he like, it's basketball. I'm an airball again.
Stories like this paint a clear picture that Kawhi is not a robot at all. He knows what he needs to do and what's not needed. Former teammates of Kawhi like Joel Embiid have the utmost respect for him and what he can do on the court. You can tell from this reaction to a Kawhi dunk.
Of course you can kind of, oh my God. See that dunk?
That's it, Jim. Thank you, Jim.
See that Kawhi dunk? Oh, it's crazy. Man. Wow.
Joel Embiid, the 2023 MVP and a 7-time All-Star, has had battles with Kawhi, especially in the 2019 playoffs. So, when he speaks on Leonard, he shows respect for him. In fact, during their time as teammates, Joel once compared Kawhi to MJ.
You can compliment to turn into Michael Jordan in the playoffs.
Unfortunately, Kawhi didn't put on any Michael Jordan-esque shows then. He moved to LA, where he has new teammates, including Ivica Zubac, a rising center for the Clippers. Zubac sees Leonard's preparation and impact daily, and has highlighted how Kawhi's work ethic pushes everyone around him to be better.
For sure. Yeah, it's good to see him out there. He works really hard. We're missing a lot on the court. Some of these guys never played with him.
Then we have Russell Westbrook, the 2017 MVP and 9-time All-Star, who was teammates with the Klaw on the Clippers. Westbrook knows Leonard's game intimately. So when Russ talks about Kawhi, it's about the quiet intensity and clutch factor.
Just his ability to be able to change the game on both sides. His experience. He's obviously won and he knows what it takes to win.
Right now, Russell Westbrook is with another superstar who knows what it takes to win, but it is very different to Kawhi in play style. He's the Joker. And although Nikola Jokic has never played alongside Kawhi Leonard, he recognizes Kawhi's unique skill sets. So when he was asked about Kawhi Leonard and all that was being said about him, this was his response.
I think he's a champion, he's a special player, he's definitely a unique player, and I think outside noise cannot affect him.
Another European player who has never played with Kawhi is Luka Doncic. But while he doesn't know him personally, Luka sees the Kawhi-inator as a destroyer. Luka's playoff battles with Kawhi, particularly in 2020 and 2021, gave him a first-hand look at Leonard's defensive prowess. So when Doncic was asked about him, he didn't mince words.
I mean, he destroyed us. That's what it is. He had a hell of a game. And that's what, he does.
Indeed, Kawhi Leonard destroys teams. That's why they call him the Kawhi-inator. So with 2 championships, 2 finals MVPs, he has built a reputation as one of the best two-way players in the league's history. But hearing his peers, MVPs, All-Stars, and teammates break down his impact shows just how much respect he commands. But when he eventually retires, how much of this legacy do you think will be affected by his injuries and the load management that came from that? Would you say Kawhi's quiet dominance makes him underrated? Let us know in the comments. And if you enjoyed this video, watch NBA legends explain why Kawhi Leonard is crazy good next.